very exciting. Here we are with the Lush limited edition body sprays that just came out. Now, I ordered these online because I knew I wasn't really going to have time to go to the Lush store, and I really wanted to review these for you guys. Now, I've only got 4 of them here because 2 of them are re-releases. And as you can see here, I have a decant of sticky dates. I then sold on the rest of this bottle because there's no way I was ever going to get through a whole 200ml of sticky dates. It's such a beast mode body spray. Like, even as a no wonder they didn't do it as a perfume. You couldn't make this as a perfume. It would be crazy. Woo! So I have a review of this one already. And of course, the one called Peaches is a re-release of Princess Peach, and again I took a little decant of that and then sold it on because I think this is like 25 mils I took, because there's no way I was really going to wear this one very often. It's yummy, but it's not necessarily my style as much as I like it. So another one where I will link up to my playlist of Lush perfume reviews, and you can go and find all the details and all my reviews of these pre-existing ones. So what I went for were the ones that I don't have, and I knew what Passion smelt like because I have had this, what's it called? I've had the shower gel, so I kind of had an idea that this is going to be a passion fruity one. Having smelt Space Girl now, I feel like I have smelt this, but I've not knowingly had Space Girl in products before. But I think probably we've just bought some things that unknowingly have this scent. But Grape Soda, Lemony Flutter, both new to me as far as I know. So joyously, these are not Lush Times Community like the last release, which was only online and very limited edition, which, you know, this is so much better that they've done limited edition and you can actually get these in the store, because I think it's tricky with Lush to blind buy things because they use a lot of natural ingredients. Sometimes they smell really different on the skin, and I do find, it has to be said, modern Lush perfumes often have quite a lot of crossover with things they've already done, or like there's things that smell kind of similar, so you might not necessarily need a body spray if it smells a little bit like something you already have. And of course it's irritating that there are quite a few Lush shops but you can't get the limited editions. They have in fact just they've got a little Soho store. I feel like I've been there before a long time ago, and I remember it being makeup in the main? I might have that wrong. But I think it's now like a perfume studio, and I think I saw that there are 12 perfumes that are exclusive to that store. Now that drives me mental because not everyone's going to be able to get to Soho. I am going to see if I can go and smell those in the hope that I can find things that smell like them that I can suggest to you guys. But when I get the chance, because I'm lucky enough to live in London, then I will go to that store and I will smell all the limited edition ones. Although looking at the ingredients, some of them I think are rehashes of old perfumes and other perfumes. Definitely one of them looks like it's the Bridgerton perfume, for instance, but with a different name. But anyway, I digress. These are the 4 that I bought. They're £25 each. I think all of them are 25 quid each for 200ml, which is pretty good. You used to be able to get these, I think, for about 20, like the body sprays, but they can range from, I think now they range from about, maybe some of them are still 20 actually. But there's like a proper range now. I think maybe some of them are 35 when they're limited edition, but they kept them at 25 this time, which I think is great. So I have lined these up in my order of what I like the most, and most to least, you know, or like in this case, least to most, and I will explain why. So interestingly enough, this first one, Lemony Flutter, this is the one that I thought that I would like the best. This is the one I was the most interested in, and you know how things go. Sometimes they just don't work out, but so I'll give you what it says for the notes. Now, we're not getting a huge amount of notes here in comparison to when I get the perfumes, because I think the body sprays actually feature some kind of maybe more perfume that is kind of like a synthetic smell, rather than a lot of their perfumes have quite a few natural and essential oils and all that kind of thing. So I seem to see more of the kind of jasmine absolute or rose absolute, all of that kind of thing. And the body sprays seem to have a little bit less information, but they still have really specific and interesting smells that I feel like are probably coming from an actual like synthetic perfume smell. So Lemony Flutter is one that has a few more notes. So Sicilian lemon oil, blue chamomile, tagettes, lavender and coumarin. And obviously there's more things listed on the back of this, but it is, let's have a look, it's those classic, let's see, eugenol, geraniol, a lot of the classics here. Yeah, water, perfume, limonol, all that kind of thing. So it says on the front of Lemony Flutter, when life gives you lemons, make it rain with Sicilian lemon and tagette oils. Spritz this zesty spray to unleash the buckets of positivity, sweetness and light, courtesy of invigorating citrus. So I've got my little thing here. I can still smell it on here. Now, unsurprisingly, this isn't the longest lasting on skin because citrus perfumes very rarely are. Let me just twist this because I feel like the top's a little bit loose. Let me tighten it. So I'm just going to respray this. The dry down here, it has a very slightly clean, maybe slightly soapy dry down because it's got the lavender and chamomile that you can kind of smell a little bit more. And the tagettes, of course. So you get more of that kind of thing when it's dried down. Woo! When you first spray it, it's lemon oil. Woohoo! Is it lemon oil? So despite having coumarin in the notes, which is obviously, it's like a sort of similar to tonka. I think they might be from the same plant, but I think coumarin is maybe even more intense than tonka. I might have that wrong. But yeah, it's got coumarin in the notes, but I don't get any sweetness in this at all. I really don't get sweetness here. So I would say here the coumarin maybe has just been used to balance out that lemon to stop it smelling too acidic. So at first it's like very, very strong lemon oil. It's really like a natural smelling tart, bitter lemon peel rather than lemon juice. And the other notes come through, like I said, more in the dry down. They're soft, they're subtle. You can definitely get a sense from that light lavender and the light chamomile. And the thing is, this is not a bad fragrance, but it's just not for me. And like I said, I thought this would be my favourite, but it feels like it's just lacking something somehow. And I think really probably what it's lacking here is sweetness. I think I need this to be sweeter. I've seen someone describe it as sherbety, but I'm not getting sherbety because I'm not getting any sugariness. And obviously the joy of a sherbety perfume is you've got like a really sharp and acidic fruity note, then with something very, very like crystallized sugary going on as well, or powdered sugar or something. This is completely lacking in that for me. And it almost smells like it's been watered down in a weird way. Sort of, if you can imagine like something like still lemonade after all the ice cubes have melted in it, but with loads of lemon oil on, like sitting on top. That's what it's making me think of. So it's definitely refreshing. I think some people are really going to like this, but it's just not, it's not doing it for me. So I would always choose my favourite lemon over this, which is, instantly when I smell it, it makes me so happy. My favourite lemon is Aqua Colonia Lemon and Ginger from 4711. This is a perfect lemon perfume for me. There's not really, it's maybe a bit more simple. There's nothing in it that bothers me. There's nothing in it that makes it, I don't think it smells too much like a cleaning product, which I know that's very personal. I sometimes smell things and think they're like cleaning products that other people don't, and vice versa. But this, yeah, it gives me a little bit of a kitchen cleaner vibe, Lemony Flutter. It's got a little bit, but not like in a chemical way at all. Like if you made your own very natural lemon, like surface cleaner, like homemade lemon juice with lavender, that kind of thing. That's the kind of scent that I get from this, and it's just not something that I find wearable. I've tried it on my skin. I don't like it on my skin, to be honest. It definitely doesn't even get sweeter. It lasts much longer on the paper than it did on my skin. So I got maybe a couple of hours out of it, really being able to smell it clearly, and then you get this kind of very gentle skin scent that is sort of a little bit chamomile-y, a little bit lavendery, again without sweetness, and maybe a little bit of floral from the tagettes. But yeah, it gets very, very, very soft quite quickly. I would say it probably will last a lot longer on clothes if it's lasting longer on the paper. So maybe this is one to spray on your clothes. So I'd say Lemony Flutter is going to be great for people who are hypersensitive to perfumes and really don't like sweet scents. But personally, I will be returning this one to Lush because it just doesn't float my boat, and it's not one that I feel like I need to have a decant of, because it's just not up my street, really. So then next in line is Passion. Now, Passion says on the front, a scent to obsess over. This luxurious fragrance is seriously creamy and dripping with sweet fruity notes to get your juices flowing. This one's kind of interesting because it smells a little bit different on my skin than it does the paper. So I think this might be a try it and see how it works for you. So this one lists Litsea cubea, which is like a real favourite of Lush's in the last few years. It's in a lot of their perfumes. Lime and Brazilian orange oil. Now, definitely smelling this, there's other things going on. Now, I do really like the smell of this, but I definitely prefer it in its shower gel form, because I think on this particular occasion, this is an age thing for me. So this is advertised next to a cocktail that looks like a porn star martini, and that is exactly what Passion smells like. It smells like a passion fruit cocktail, you know? And there is something in a porn star martini that does give it a very gently, slightly creamy and vanillic, but not really creamy and vanillic. It's nearly entirely fruity, but it's definitely sweetened up with something yummy in a porn star martini. I used to drink those all the time. And as much as perfume is ageless, I just feel like this smells... It just smells like a young person to me. It screams youthfulness, if you see what I mean. This kind of bright, intensely fruity, tropical fruity scent. Really, really nice. And it definitely has a little bit of a crossover with peaches, but that one's like more leaning towards a pineapple-y tropical fruit scent. That one also smells like a... it kind of smells like a cocktail, but it also smells like those fruit salad sweets that you get in the UK. Which I think are raspberry and pineapple. So that one I think leans in the pineapple direction of a yummy fruity cocktail, and this one leans in the passion fruit direction of a fruity cocktail. So Passion is quite strong. It lasts for quite a long time, like 4 hours on my skin, eternal on clothing, really, really good for a body spray. And I find that the really kind of tangy, fruity perfumes from Lush do tend to last quite a long time. So yeah, so on my skin, this is very, very much a porn star martini. On paper, you get more of the subtle, creamy sweetness, which is something that's like really familiar in Lush perfume. So, and personally, I feel like I've grown out of this particular style of super fruity, tropically scents. Things that really do smell like a cocktail. And it's really just in the last 5 years or so, I've found myself preferring a more kind of nuanced fruity perfume, something more perfumey, ones that have obvious florals or creamy sweet gourmand elements, or like soapy musks. So as much as I really like Passion, I do think it smells absolutely delicious. I do not think I would get the urge to wear this one very well, if at all. So, I mean, maybe like once a year I'll just think, oh, maybe I should put that one on. So I'm thinking about this one as to whether I might return it, or whether I will take a little take a little decant, and then either sell it on, saying that it's not a full bottle, or maybe just give it away, depending. So Yeah, I mean, that's what I did with Princess Peach, and I've barely touched that one. So I've, again, that kind of fruity, sugary, like lollipop or sweet fruity cocktail scent just isn't really something that I feel suits me now that I'm 42. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just kind of coming out of that kind of syrupy cocktaily smell and moving into something that's maybe slightly more floral, which I never thought that would really be the case, but it really does seem to be. But I do highly recommend it. And I would say, if you liked Princess Peaches, or you like the new version of that called Peaches, I think you would love Passion. I think it's going to be right up your street. So then let's talk about Space Girl. So yeah, I was sort of surprised by this, but then at the same time, it really smells like Lush. I mean, I think that has to be said for all of these. They are very obviously Lush scents, they're Lush perfumes through and through. So this is listed as grapefruit, bergamot and almond. And this I like a lot. Funnily enough, it's my husband's least favourite. And the reason being that it smells quite gourmand when it dries down, and it's gourmand in a kind of grapefruit cakey kind of way, which means I think this is going to be very popular, and I think in a way it might be the safest of all of these perfumes and the most kind of mass appealing. So I know that Space Girl is a beloved Lush scent. It appears in bath bombs and other products, and I can totally smell why people get excited about this. Like I said, I feel like I recognise it. There are recognisable elements about this. Whether that is because I've had a Space Girl product before without knowing it, or more likely, to be honest, because this has a lot of elements in it that remind me of other things that Lush make and that I have. So but yeah, people get really excited when this scent turns up in like new products or in kitchen subscription products. And I see people getting really excited about Space Girl, so I know this one's super popular. It's one of those ones along with like Tramp, where people are like, oh my God, can we have Tramp? Or please, can we have Space Girl back? So it's obviously very popular, this one. So I wonder if this is a Simon Constantine creation, because in the dry down, it reminds me of a perfume from his indie brand, his own indie brand, called Far. So his brand is called And Fragrances, and I love Far. It's my favourite one. I feel sure when I finish this particular one, I will get a 50ml bottle of this, and this is heaven. It's really heaven. It's very gourmand. It's really delicious. This one smells like a key lime pie, and Space Girl smells like a relative of Far. So Space Girl isn't as gourmand, for sure. And the citruses is maybe a little bit softer in here, and the sweetness isn't as pronounced as in And, but it's definitely got a kind of creamy sweet layer underneath lots of yummy, juicy citruses. So I would say there's something in this that shares the base DNA that loads of Lush body sprays have, in that it has a fruit sherbet quality to it, and you get that in Passion, you get it in Peaches, Avocado Co-Wash, you can get it in Zesty, Dad's Garden Lemon Tree, it all has this very specific sherbety sweetness, and it always smells like there's some citrus skin in there, like some oils, So when you first spray Space Girl, you do get a fair bit of that grapefruity, bergamoty, citrusy, classic Lush citrus. But because there's almond in this, you then get a dry down, which gets creamier and sweeter, and it brings it back round to that kind of snow fairy comforter side of things, where you've got more of a sweetness. So this is a good one. It's citrus, so again, it's not the best longevity, but when the general scent of it dies down, which is maybe after about 3 hours, if you put your kind of nose to your skin, you'll be left with this lovely sweetness, and that is the almond. So I'm happy about having a bit of almond here, because when I tried the Barbie perfume, I loved the kind of cherry almond you got in the top of that, but then that continued to dry down to smell literally like a bath bomb. So I was getting like citric acid and bicarbonate of soda, like scratchy screechiness in that perfume when it dried down. But when you first sprayed it, it was yummy. And I feel like this has a little bit of that same kind of yummy almond mixed with some kind of delicious citrus. Yeah, really, really, really nice. I think this is going to be an absolute winner for people. Yeah, so what else can I say? Oh, well, again, yeah, maybe put it on your clothes. It will last a bit longer. And I think that's the same for all of these. Body sprays are always good on clothes. Right, so let's have a look. What have we got? Last one. Just lining up the notes so I can read them. So, Grape Soda. This is my favourite. Yeah. So I think realistically, I could probably happily live with a 50ml decant of this, maybe like a 25ml decant of this, and this one I'm happy to return. Grape Soda, definitely want to keep in my collection full bottle, because this, I think, is the easiest to wear. Although I think maybe this is going to be the most mass appealing, I think this one is the easiest to wear, for me personally. You don't have to go through the whole kind of quite bitter, sharp, bright, citrusy thing that you get with all of these. This has a different tone to it, but it's also definitely in the same family as some other things. So Grape Soda has juniper berry and orange oil. That's all it's telling you, but I mean, it's called Grape Soda, so I didn't even read what it said on Space Girl. What did it say? Send your mood rocketing. This effervescent grapefruit favourite dances on the skin, sparkles in the air, fizzy, vibrant and very Moorish. It is those things, but I feel like this is creamier than this. I think the almond in this makes this is more fizzy, effervescent, dancing on the skin. This one becomes something more creamy. So Grape Soda, the snap of a can, the first pop of that sweet syrupy joy, fresh fizzy notes quench your thirst for a hot summer days of your childhood. So, not days of my childhood. The UK, we didn't have grape soda. That's very American. We can now get some grape sodas. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. It definitely is a bit of a grape soda. It's one that makes me smile. To be fair, all of these kind of make me smile a bit. This, I think, is a very smiley, happy perfume, but it's syrupy and it's a bit sickly, I think, in comparison to this. This is making me think of something from my childhood, but it's more Vimto. It's more of a Vimto to me than it is an actual full grape soda. It'll be interesting to see what everyone else is saying about this. But I feel like Vimto is kind of the UK version of something that's a bit grapey. It's like one of those things where you're like, I think it's got some kind of berries in it. I think there's a slight weird bubblegummy thing going on. It smells and tastes like a little bit weird and synthetic. Like it's, you know, when you have Dr. Pepper, you're like, what is this flavour? What flavour is Iron Brew? Like, how do you explain what those actually are to someone who's never tasted it? Because if you were to say to me, like, Iron Brew is just like a citrus drink or whatever, or Lucasade is just a citrus drink, and then you drank it, you'd be like, I mean, Iron Brew truly just tastes bubblegummy. So I'd say, on first spray, you definitely do get that kind of Vimto-y, grapey soda smell. And then I think there's also something here that has a slight soapiness that stops it being totally gourmand. I'm not really sure what that is and whether that's the juniper. But yeah, close up to my skin, a slight soapiness. And the closest thing to this is, for me, the Comforter. So the Lush Comforter is a blackcurrant perfume. I think there's cypress or something in here. But there's this is like, it smells like the fizzy cans of Ribena you used to get when you were a kid that were pure sugar. They were the best drink ever. And I love the opening of the comforter. This is literally all I have left. I ended up using my bottle on many, like ages ago now, on like my bed sheets and stuff. So this is just like a decant, and from what was left of that, so I could take the bottle back for recycling. It's definitely like, if you like the comforter, I think you'll probably love Grape Soda. But this is the blackcurrant one, and it has a dry down that becomes sweet and almost smells slightly vanillic to me. And that's why I kind of struggle with the comforter, because there's something about that sugary blackcurrant smell. When the tanginess has disappeared and like totally dissipated, you've lost that acidic quality of the blackcurrant. When that dries down and you've got more of a vanilla-y base, it becomes a little bit hard for me to wear. So I don't love the comforter. I love the smell of it in the air and on things. I just don't like wearing it, and I'd love it on other people. But Grape Soda, I find a bit easier to deal with. So it's like I said, it's maybe like if you think of like a grape tango, like I think we can get those ones, and I feel like they're from Europe, right? So this is not as bubblegummy as I would consider the grape sodas I've tried that are American. This to me is like less of the American bubblegummy, highly chemically smelling or tasting grape soda, and more of the Vimto that then kind of moves into this slightly clean juniper berry smell, but there's a slight sweetness in here. There is something here that is reminding me a little bit of Snow Fairy. So in terms of DNA, Grape Soda has a crossover in the main with the feel of wearing the comforter, but there's something in here that is in this family. So Snow Fairy, American Cream and Creamy Candy, there's something in Grape Soda when it dries down that reminds me of these. Now obviously it's like a more watery kind of feel of Snow Fairy. It's got a kind of slightly clean smelling American Cream thing. So I'm wondering, let me just have a quick look at the notes here. Let's see. Limonelle, juniper berry, sweet wild orange, citronelle, geraniol. Geraniol is in a lot of stuff, and that is something that smells sometimes a little bit geranium-y, a little bit like rose. So maybe I'm getting a little bit of that. Maybe there's a decent amount of that that's coming through to give this an ever so slightly florally scent in the background. But then like a really nice gentle sweetness. It doesn't feel quite as vanilla leaning as the comforter does. It feels more like, so when I talk about American Cream, oh god, I love American Cream. But when this dries down, like properly dries down, the sweetness in American Cream that people describe as a strawberry milkshake, I don't get, personally, I get no strawberry milkshake vibe from American Cream. American Cream to me smells like a white fondant icing with crystallized lavender, crystallized violet, crystallized iris and rose. So I think, is there like sage or something in here as well? It has a slightly herbaceous, slightly floral, delicious, and I really do get quite a lot of violet in this. I often wear this when I've used the violet stuff from Lush on my hair. But yeah, the creaminess and sweetness here smells like a fondant icing and icing sugar rather than something vanillic. And the sweetness in Grape Soda feels to me that same kind of mixture of maybe a little bit of vanilla with a lot of tonka bean or coumarin, rather than what I feel I get in the comforter, which just reminds me a little bit of vanilla, more so than tonka. Oh, I'm looking forward to it being cool again, just to wear something like American Cream and Creamy Candy, which is delicious. And that's another one where it has this really nice mixture of like a kind of tonkery smell or coumarin smell with a vanillic smell. Like, it's just so yummy. But this is obviously much more juicy, much more fruity. It's really pretty, and I think it would be really easy to wear, much easier for me to wear than the comforter was, and easier than any of these others, I'd say. I think it's really, really tasty. I think the juniper berry, or whatever it is here that's giving it this kind of grapey scent, which again I assume is some kind of perfume rather than like specific oils or whatever. I think if you don't like the idea of something that has a slightly Vimto-y grapey smell, then maybe this won't be for you. But I think it's going to be an easy reach. I think it's going to be really yummy. I think lots of people are going to like this. Yeah, I think probably Lemony Flutter will be the hardest to deal with. And Passion maybe will be a bit sickly for some people. I think Space Girl and Grape Soda are probably going to be really popular. I know that Sticky Dates is really popular, but personally I find that one hard to wear because it is so sweet. It can be a bit overwhelming for me. I'm going to have to spray out Princess Peach again and give it another go. But yeah, I mean, that's Grape Soda's a winner for me. That one's definitely staying. What I would say about these, though, is firstly, I really like that these have colours on. I really like this because if you've got loads of these body sprays, I think it's nice to differentiate them in a more obvious way. And obviously the normal ones have just the black label. I think some of the old ones maybe have white labels, but I think they look so cool with these colours. I really like how these look. But what I'll say is I would change the colours here. So I would have Grape Soda, I would have it this bluey purpley colour here. So I would have Grape Soda on this background. And that's because I think, realistically, that I think this colour is the colour of the comforter in my mind. Like, the comforter smells like this Grape Soda colour, this really purpley colour. And I feel like the Grape Soda would have a bit more of an unnatural purpley tone, you know. So like I feel like it would be a bit blue, like a not often found in nature style colour is what I'd have for that one, personally. And then Space Girl, that one really smells to me a bit like a lemony cakey kind of scent, and I would personally, because it's a citrusy cake smell, I would have Space Girl on this colour. Space Girl smells like this colour to me. Passion would definitely be orange. I wouldn't have it on this kind of slightly orangey toned, pinky, reddy, pretty rose colour. Yeah, I'd definitely have this one on maybe maybe a slightly earthy but quite bright orange. That's what I'd have on Passion. Lemony Flutter would be more of a green toned yellow, so more acidic, like an actual lemon, but slightly pastel rather than neon, you know, like a pastel sort of acid lemon, really, because I think this one is kind of too warm and too brown toned for how this one smells. I think it really smells like that real kind of slightly pale big lemon colour, you know. So yeah, I would definitely swap those two round. And then I think Sticky Dates, my lovely little thing there. So Sticky Dates, I think, has a brown label, but I'd probably have it slightly darker than the label actually is. And then Princess Peach. What do I have for Princess Peach? I feel like because Princess Peach, and now what it's called, which is Peaches, maybe like a more yellowy orange tone for that than the orange that they've got, just to differentiate, because I'd have this in orange. Because that one smells like fruit salad sweets and doesn't really smell like peach to me. So, but having said that, you know, I would love for Lush to make a perfume or body spray that is a more natural take on a peach scent. So maybe preferably like a white peach or something, because it's such a hard note to get right though. So yeah, Princess Peach is really fun, but I've never really thought it properly smelled like peach. I think it smells more like pineapple. Pineapple and watermelon, that's what I get from this. I'd forgotten about that. I'm just going to spray this out. I'm on a watermelon kick at the moment, so woo. Yeah, it totally smells like, yeah, weirdly, Princess Peach / Peaches, it smells like watermelon and pineapple to me. So in a way I actually prefer this to that, because I'm on a watermelon kick. It's Yeah, it is really pretty. This one's amazingly strong as well. So if they've kept the same formulation, it's quite strong. So I feel like Passion and probably Peach. Well, let's be real. Sticky Date's strongest, and then followed by Passion and Princess Peach. This one lasted. I sprayed it in my room when I first got the big bottle, and it went onto my bed, and it smelled like that for like a week. It really lasted. So yeah, that is my review of these lovely perfumes, and I would say, although I didn't enjoy Lemony Flutter, and Passion isn't necessarily something I'd wear nowadays, there are no duds in this limited edition release. Like, all 6 of them are totally worthwhile and good perfumes, and like 25 quid for 200ml is a bargain in the economy that we're all living in at the moment. So yeah, I was only disappointed in this one because I was so excited about this one, and I was hoping it would be a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit easier to wear, but I found this one a little bit sharp, bitter and watery. Like, it's maybe just a little bit too much in the citrus oils and not enough of the other things, and not sweetened enough for me. But having said that, I'm sure there's loads of people who are going to love this and don't agree with me on that, and they like how this is. So like I'm saying, it's not a bad perfume, it's just not one that I want to wear. And this, again, I think I've just grown out of this kind of smell, even though I love it. And like I said, I would, again, love to have this in a shower gel. It's exactly the kind of thing I like in the shower. But they're all good. Like, these are definitely the 2 that I would recommend buying. Those are the best ones. I think if you want something really fruity, bright, smells a bit like a cocktail, I think I prefer Peaches to Passion. But they're both really good. Depends if you want passion fruit or a watermelon and pineapple kind of scent. And of course, Sticky Dates is if you want to smell like a sticky toffee pudding. And this is not the time of year that I'd want to be smelling like a sticky toffee pudding. I've not even sprayed that out because that one makes me cough. It's so strong, and like, yeah, it really gets in my throat. So that's why I didn't keep the full bottle. I've not got a chance in hell of ever wearing 200ml of Sticky Dates. But yeah, so I think they're great. This is a really good release, and I'm happy because I haven't really liked any of the perfumes that have been released in the last couple of years. I've been quite disappointed with most of them, except for re-releases, like Creamy Candy, for instance. So yeah, let me know if you guys have these. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that I'm mad, because I know that Lush stuff smells really different often on skin, and it often smells very different to different people. So, same with most perfumes, right? So let me know if you have these, which ones you have, which ones you like, what's your order? Because yeah, my order is, I would say, let's see, I'm going to put them because I've got the other ones. So Grape Soda is my top, definitely. I think Space Girl, probably number 2. I think Princess Peach is probably going to go there. Sticky Dates maybe is going to go there. And then I'm going to have Passion and Lemony Flutter. I think that's the order of my kind of liking for these particular body sprays. So comment down below if you managed to get hold of these and if you like them, or if you're planning to go and get them now. And thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you like my content. I do try to review all the new Lush perfumes and body sprays when they come out. I've still got to smell Once Upon a Time. I need to go to store to check that one out. I think that's supposed to be like quite an appley perfume that used to be called Snow White, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I will be back then to review that whenever I get to smell it. And I'm really keeping my fingers crossed for some more perfumes, because they had a vote a while back. And as I said at the beginning of this, I will, as soon as I can, go to the Soho store to smell their 12 perfumes that are exclusive to that store, and then genuinely hope that they will be in some way made available to people who cannot get to Soho, because most people who like Lush can't get to Soho in London. So anyway, thanks guys, bye.